In this video, we will be drawing this figure to the right. And instead of using the usual press pull command that we've been using, we will use the Revolve tool. And at the same time, we will be adding fillets. So we'll use fillets and also use chamfer. The fillets can be seen here. And then the chamfer could be seen down here. Notice that all the dimensions are given, and there is a note here that says that all dimensions should be in millimeters. So let's begin by changing our document setting, our document unit. So click on change active units and make it to millimeter. Do not click set as default, as our default is in inches. So just click OK. Let's create a new sketch. Click on the front plane and select the 2-point rectangle. And since we are using a new command or a new tool known as Revolve, we are not going to draw a circle. Instead, we'll draw a rectangle starting from the origin going to the left. Okay, now let's go dimension the sketch. And so the height is 30 millimeters. And then the diameter is 40. But then we are drawing just half of it, and you'll see why in a bit. So instead of putting 40, we put the radius, which is 20. So click and then type 20. Now that it's fully constrained, click Finish Sketch. And then look for the Revolve feature, which should be up here. If you can't find it up here, go click Create and then look for Revolve. Okay, click on the profile if it hasn't been selected yet. So let me go back here where it says Profile. As you can see, it's already selected. If it's not selected yet, like that, you have to click on it and it will be highlighted. And then you need to click on Axis where it says One Select. And then let me zoom in. And I will be clicking on this axis right here. Okay, so as you can see, it created that part of the figure. And if your angle is not set to 360 degrees, so just go type 360 degrees and then click OK. Next, we will be drawing this extension that came from the cylinder, from the cylinder's top. So click Create Sketch and click on the top part of the cylinder. And we are going to draw a square, but instead of using the 2-point rectangle, we want to use, so click under rectangle, we want to use a center rectangle. A center rectangle starts off with a point at the center, and when you click and drag, it will extend and create your rectangle. Okay, so I drew starting from the origin and pulled out. Now I need to just sketch the dimension. As you can see here, it says it's 10 on both sides. So 10 here, and then 10 on this side as well. Click Finish Sketch. And then now let's pull it up to 15 millimeters. So instead of using press pull, you could also use the extrude function. So click here and then type 15 for its distance. We can now add the fillets. And as you can see here, it says radius is 5 for the fillets. So fillet should be found up here, but if you don't see it, you could click Modify and then look for fillet. So click fillet, and then the first thing you need to do is to select all the edges that you want to fillet. So we want to select this edge all around this rectangular prism. And then now we need to type in the radius of the fillet. So it's 5 Okay, the last thing that we have to do now would be the chamfer. Chamfer, if you don't find it up here, should be hidden down here in this menu, and here's chamfer. And then the first thing that we need to set is what type of chamfer are we doing? Okay, normally it would be equal distance chamfer, but in our case right here, it says that we need to chamfer 5 millimeters into the edge of the circle at a 30-degree angle. And the 30-degree angle, of course, is coming from the horizontal axis. So let's use distance and angle. And then for you to see it, we'll go rotate it so that we could see the bottom. Now let's select the edge of that circle. So let's go and type 5 millimeters. And then for our angle, instead of 45 here, we need 30. Okay, so I'm going to click on the front view so that you could see how it looks like and compare it to the figure that we're supposed to draw. And as you can see, there is a difference on the angle. Okay, so the angle that is 30 is not coming from the horizontal, but it's coming from the vertical axis. So what we need to do is we have to flip the sides of the chamfer. And we could do that by clicking here. So flip the first and second sides of chamfer. And when we do that, as you can see, we now have a 30-degree chamfer, which is comparable to the one that's in this drawing. So click OK, and then go back to isometric, save your work, and name it Revolve 1. Okay, before you take a screenshot of your work, rotate it so that I could actually see the chamfer, but it's still in a somewhat isometric view. Okay, so something like this. And then submit your work.